Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Valley of Spirits. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Nick, and we're coming to you live from a cozy corner of the Salty Sailor Tavern in Booty Bay.
That's right, Nick. We decided to take a break from our adventures to sit down, grab a drink, and share our latest escapades with you while having a beautiful sunset and an ocean breeze. But with the umbrella drinks rolling, we should get after it, right, Nick?
I know my week has been pretty packed with raiding and mythics. Jordan, before we get into our weeks, why don't you tell our listeners what they're going to be able to expect out of this episode?
There's quite a bit to talk about, some hotfixes. We have some exciting esports section. We have some Tavern Talk exclusives even coming out, which definitely stay tuned for our very lit Tavern Talk section.
It's going to be good.
What can you say about it?
Well, all I want to say right now is that Blizzard lied, and I'm not surprised. We'll get more on it later, though. I am excited to get to the Tavern Talk. Jordan, do you care to tell us about your week?
Yeah, thanks for asking, actually. I did get a bit more done than I thought I was going to get done this week. For raiding, I ended up getting the heroic done on my Evoker. I always can't resist doing it on my Evoker. I love raid healing. It's so much fun. Stacking for the mechanics, learning the long cast, lots of exciting things. I did the normal on my warrior. Another attempt at Firalath to no avail, of course. They won't even let me craft it. It's so late. I wouldn't even get benefits from it. And just before the recording, I did get to 6 of 9 of the bosses on heroic in a fresh.
Well, I helped you with one of them. Wow. We crashed at that one.
Yeah,
still there.
You made it for the crash, for the great crash.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
That's okay, though.
I made it for the three in a row wipes.
But up until Great Smoldy, Smoldy.
Smoldy's always tough.
We were not able to plug our way into getting my warrior done tonight. So maybe some Monday cleanup, give it another swing, see if I can just get a Farrak run on Monday. We'll see if somebody lets me in, please, if anybody's listening, please. See a warrior, just showing up, let him in. But we do know how Mondays are. My mage did the normal just because I can't resist doing some arcane blasties. I like the pew-pew-pews. I did also do a lot of dungeons this week. I do think the Mythic Plus pools are getting weaker. There's lots of new people trying keys. There's a balance to be had here with things like this between getting carried and whether it's dealing damage, whether it's healing, whether it's because I've not hit some of these metrics right in my time. I do think there is a lot of new people coming up, a lot of new people trying Mythic Keys. And the cool part about this is, where I wanted to wrap all this up with, in the Tavern Talk, we'll finish that one up.
Yeah.
There's a way to balance the group makers and things like that. I did end up getting Keystone Mastery on my Evoker.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you to the friends and guildies that came along for the key grind. Lots of fun, some frustration, but we did it.
You're welcome.
Yes,
I expect you to be there for the rest of my key grind. Thank you.
Yeah, you still some KSM to be done.
We're a couple hundred points away from mine.
Yeah, well, you'll be updated next week.
Yeah, dude, if we could push it next week, that'd be the tits.
I mean, you know me, I'm a retail boy.
Yeah, I know.
I did do a couple of low keys on the Mage. It was trash. I gotta work on my AoE a little bit better. I'm stubborn about Arcane, and I will make it work for the trash, but it sure is tough. Tricky. But the boss damage is sick. My raid damage is fine, so I definitely have to work on my trash damage. So for PvP, I didn't do shit. I was really
surprised.
I was really trying to focus on building some PvE things, so I didn't do much. I did talk a bit with Brother Green. He has been grinding solo shuffles. He's been really trying to grind it out. And I'm interested to see if I can drag you with us into some keys. Because he brought up a hunter, Brother Green did.
Oh.
And so we have an interesting balance. But yeah, we'll talk with you about it more, Green. Hope you're listening. Thank you. But definitely more PvP to be done.
Definitely.
In Panda Remix, all I did was a very short bit of Warlock leveling. I just did the raids that I can do on
You're
it.
playing a Warlock?
You
hate Warlock.
It's something. It is a higher level than my Hunter now, and I say I like Hunter more, so maybe I gotta take a real look in the mirror.
Yeah, well, I don't know about look in the mirror, but I will be surprised what you do with that after Panda's done, because all that's gonna shift into retail.
Yeah, I'm gonna have now a Shaman and shortly a Warlock capped too, so lots of exciting things to add to the arsenal.
You might end up. War Within for you is going to be interesting. I'm curious what you're really going to end up playing. Are you going to stick with the Evoker Warrior, or are you going to swap it up?
We definitely have to talk more about my War Within plans in the Tavern Talk. That's a very exciting section.
I'm pretty pumped about it.
But Nick, what did you get up to this week?
Oh man, my week. So raiding, did get into 2 LFRs on both my Prot and Holy Paladin. Did get the Holy Paladin to a normal as well and healed through that, which was fantastic. Great experience. I found that the Holy Paladin, the where it sits on the tier list is pretty true. In Mythics, it's not fun. It's a little rough. But and I think that may be a gearing problem on my end, but doing it in a raid was fantastic. Granted, because the healing chart doesn't matter because there's 3 other healers while I'm going through it. Both the Paladins are now sitting at about 500 eye level, so they're hopefully going to be crossing that line and a little past it before pre-patch, and at least before the War Within, which is really my goal. I'd like to walk into it with all of my Paladins at about where my red is at, which is about 513, which that'd be money.
They'll still be comfortable for leveling. You'll get to probably level 76 and then start replacing your gear.
Right. No, and I want them to be comfortable in leveling. I don't want to feel like it's a lot more of a grind. I'm trying to get them to all roughly be the same across the board, so that way when I have to do new levels on expansions or new gear, it's not as hard of a push upwards as the Ret Pally is, if that makes sense. For dungeons, I did hit that ground running right away last week. I ended up doing a +5 Azure Vaults and Agathar Academy right off the bat. Yeah, it was good. I had a really good week this week. I ended up pushing up to a +7 Ruby Life Pools, and we did get that +7 up to a +10 Ruby Life Pools. And I love it. Really love it when the system just dumps me in a dungeon I can crush. Sadly, though, that +10 didn't make time. We missed it by, I swear it was like 30 seconds. If we didn't have
it was close. Yeah, it was
so close, and I was so upset with it. But
fortunately, quiet lobby after, yeah.
Yeah, and
a couple of disappointed souls for sure.
It was, well, and like I always say, gotta look at the glass half full. We still had a great experience. We were able to get into a +10, even host it, and we did really good on it. So we missed it by 30 seconds. It just means we have a better time to achieve going forward. That's all it is. There's always room to grow, room to get better, and that's what you and I are always about too. I was also able to get my Prot Paladin, who really isn't that hot a geared. I mean, they're, like I said, they're about close to 500 at the end of the last week. About this, when I ran her through some +2s, she was about 480, 485. Still a little hard with some damage mitigation and holding threat, but still got through them. Still made time on them. So she's starting to actually get some Raider IO score, which is great. That's all I got for dungeons. When it comes to PvP, Panda, Kata, Classic, I did nothing. But I do have an update on Hardcore, which I think Jordan's going to like this one and really make him want to play more. I got into my Hardcore Paladin for about 5 minutes, hoping to do a level or so. And within that 5 minutes, I found Murlocs and died. So we're back at 0.
Oh, my fucking soul.
It
melts for you, brother.
What I accidentally did was I pulled one, and that one I pulled 2 by accident in reality. And that's what the problem was. And trying to run, I slapped a health potion, and then I just didn't make it from far enough away from the second one. It was sad because I put a lot of time into that paladin. She had, I don't know, maybe like she had good gear on. Like I spent money in that auction house. Oh yeah, it was. We salute you. No, but like, I am gonna start again. I don't know what. I might do a priest because I'll have the bubble. And I didn't like how slow Paladin was at leveling. It was extremely slow.
Well, Mage is tough unless you have a priest.
Yeah, I may try Mage too. I don't know yet. I want to decide on another class to go as.
Mage is fun.
Well, you and I are doing real good in our combo. We have a really nice wombo combo.
Yeah, playing a mage when you have a priest is nice.
But
really
someone
nice.
doesn't get on, so I gotta find a solo class.
Okay, all right.
Jordan, you want to tell us about how the guild did?
We did do some pretty cool things with the guild. We did do, for our Tuesday normal raid night, some Amir Dressel. We downed it without a problem. Easy cheese, easy claps. We had a couple of guys from the guilds bring some of their characters that slapped.
Yeah.
We had some characters that needed some help with slapping, and we slapped. It was sweet.
It happens. No, we had a killer Tuesday. Holy crap. We got through that raid in, I want to say, almost an hour and a half, even probably lower. Like,
yeah, it had under 2 hours, definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah, it was easy under 2 hours because we had the start time at 7, but we probably didn't start till 7:30, 7:45, and we were done by 9.
Yeah, sweet night.
Oh, dude, we just crushed
Thank
it.
you, guildies who came.
Beautiful.
Thank you if you're listening.
Any guildie who's ever listening, like, when we do things, it's just fantastic. We are building a killer community in guild.
Absolutely. So heroic night, there was a bit more pugging happening.
Little rough.
It was a little bit more. This is more of a volunteer thing where we go and I just lead a heroic night, right? We have a good time. We vibe. Sully tanks it,
We see what we can do.
Yeah, and we did very swell until Snake in the Hot Tub.
Yeah.
Classic Snake in the Hot Tub problem.
Well, and we had problems on that with the people we pugged with too. It really wasn't anybody in the guild. And it's not throwing people under the bus or protecting the guild. That's just how it was. Because we had 2 tanks that we pugged, or no, was it one of the tanks? Because I don't think
the tank was fun. Well, the tank was all right.
I think didn't Sully DPS.
We gotta bring Sully on again. Talk about the other tank, but
yeah,
they were all right.
Well, I mean, they died like instantly.
They were squish.
Yeah, it was. There were just some problems with pugging. It happens. Like, you can't. It's like what market risk, I guess, is the way to put it. You're never gonna clear it all out.
But yeah, that cleans up what we did with our guild. Thank you guys who were there. I appreciate it. This next week, I actually will be gone. I believe one of the days. We'll be more clear on that here soon. But
yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, that's our guild nights for sure. We do everything from heroic dungeons to heroic raids. So thank you, guildies who joined. I really appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Always appreciate a guildie that shows up and comes out.
But it's time we moved on. We've sapped enough. Thank you, guys. But Nick, I was wondering if you could hot fix me up, if you would, please.
Yes, I can, Jordan. For Cataclysm Classic, Tabard of Flame item will no longer destroy itself on login. You can now get the transmog through the Appearance tab in Collections. It's also available for purchase from Lando, Longshot, and Booty Bay. Exactly where we're at.
Yes. Oh, Lando.
Yep. Fixed multiple spells so that they now log properly and can be detected by add-on authors and third-party websites. Titan Rune dungeons have been updated to allow single players to activate any of the 3 difficulties. The Little Deathwing pet now appears as expected in the Collector's UI for players who previously added the Cataclysm Classic. Oh, fuck. Classic doesn't have a Collector's Edition. The Little Deathwing pet now appears as expected in the Collections UI for players who have previously added the Cataclysm Collector's Edition to their account. Moving to Season of Discovery, the 6-hour wait between applications of Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer and the Warchief's Blessing has been reduced to 1 minute.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a pretty big decrease there. Fixed an issue with the Rolling Thunder rune where it only worked if you also had the Shield Mastery rune equipped. That requirement was accidental and has now been removed, which means that Warcraft and Blizzard do not have a quality check. Good job, guys.
Right.
Alchemists specialized in mixology and transmutation will now always get at least one extra resource produced by their specialized recipes. The maximum received from a single recipe is 4. Main Gouge will now always apply its discounts to Sinister Strike, even if the ability does not land. Both of Main Gouge's buffs will now be removed when the rune is removed.
Another rune working properly. Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Beautiful.
As texted. Let's go.
All non-elite and non-boss enemies in Nightmare Incursions now have health and damage values the same as a standard creature of their level. Previously, most had 50% more damage and health. Experience values for these creatures have been reduced by 33% in most cases, which is still more than a standard creature in itself.
So they keep nerfing these Nightmare Incursions. They do want you to level quick. They want you to be able to catch up in Season of Discovery.
Pattern, leather reinforced rune cloth bags, 18 slots, is now available for Undermine Real. Bottomless bags and a Nixia hide backpacks now have 20 full slots.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I wish we could get some bag increases in retail. That'd be nice.
I think we need some bloat mitigation in retail. But anyway, that is talk for another episode. We are not adding that to the Tavern Talk. No, we need slower times. War Within's coming.
The bloat
we'll wait for some
mitigation in
downtime.
itself could be an entire episode because
a whole
I think
episode.
you and I are both tired of picking random shit up to turn into keys
right,
or other
we're not
gems.
even the pros yet, like who navigate this madness.
For WoW Classic and Hardcore, fix multiple bugs causing quests and abilities from Season of Discovery to be unintentionally present in Classic Era. God, it's almost like that quality control still doesn't exist.
You talked about them mixing the servers, which we'll talk more into detail here.
Oh yeah,
That's
the Tavern Talk section I am gonna go ham on. They also got randomly the 6-hour wait period between applications of Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer and Warchief's Blessing to be reduced by 1 minute. I wonder what would have caused that.
Oh goodness.
Jordan, do you want to take us on what events are coming up this week?
Yes, so I'll play the sad violin. We'll start with the events that are ending. So, World Quest bonus event ends. If you didn't grind out the reps you wanted to grind out in whatever it was, Legion, Shadowlands, whatever place has World Quests, or whether it was Loam Niffin or a modern rep, you did miss out, remember? World Quest bonus event week is sick. And the other thing that is ending is, boo-hoo, South Shore versus Torrin Mill. Boo-hoo.
You sound so sad about that ending.
Well, that's all right. Because while we're on PvP Brawls, the new event is Classic Ashran begins. I will leave it at...
There's time walking.
Sorry, I just read it.
We do have a time walking dungeon event that is beginning. We have the Warlords of Draenor dungeon event that is starting this week. Remember, this is when you can bring up characters that are above the level 40 level or higher, and you can bring them up to cap. It is a good place to let some of your friends taste dungeons. We've talked about how it's a little easy-ish. I like it. It's a good thing to level up a character and get some easy gear. It comes with some not teaching capabilities for sure. But if you're trying to level up a character, definitely time walking starting next week. And Nick, actually, I was wondering if you would bring us through some affixes this week.
Oh, you want me to do the affixes? That's interesting.
I do. It's up to you. You have to.
Okay.
You have to.
I have to?
You have to.
Okay. So I'll do the affixes this week, as Jordan has mentioned. We're going to see Tyrannical, Incorporeal, and Spiteful. In Tyrannical, bosses will have 30% more health. Bosses and their minions inflict up to 15% increased damage. So it's a big boss week, and their minions inflict more damage.
You'll find that your big, enormous trash pulls will be easier,
Yes.
but the bosses will be trickier
Yep.
and last a long time.
We're also going to have incorporeals this week. While in combat, incorporeal begins periodically appearing and attempts to weaken the players. What that means is you're going to need your CCs out, and we do have a list that we're going to go through. You got Cheap Shot, Blind, Gouge, Kidney Shot. Druid has Hibernate and Cyclone. Priest has Shackle Undead. Warlock has Fear and Banish. Mage has Polymorph. Obviously, you could turn them into sheep. That's going to happen. Shaman has Hex. Warrior's got Intimidating Shout, Stormbolt. And the best class ever, Paladin, has Hammer of Justice, Turn Evil, Repentance. That's why we get 3, because we're top tier S class.
Yeah, shut up. Next class.
Monk has Paralyze. Demon Hunter has Imprison. Death Knight has Asphyxiate. Hunter has Freezing Trap, Scare Beast, and Intimidation.
Something I want to bring up is some of these CCs are better than others. You will find that a warrior does have Intimidating Shout, by the way. You definitely have to talent for that. But Stormbolt is temporary. It's like a 4-second range stun on one of them. Like, that ain't gonna fix your ultimate problem.
No.
While, like, when I sleepwalk it as Evoker, I'm like, dab. He's done. You know? See you later.
Well, and that's like, too, you and I, when we run, and I'm running the Ret and you're running your Evoker, I can pick 2 up. Like, if you have nothing on if everything's on cooldown, I can pick him up with Hammer of Justice and Repentance. Or no, what's the punch? I forget.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just know what the logo looks like sometimes.
Hammer of Justice, Turn Evil, and Repentance.
They work. Play Paladin.
Play Paladin. Lots of options.
Every week you're good. Especially
we just wanted to go over the complete list, some spells to look at for sure. If you're not used to looking at those kinds of spells and you want to do some higher keys, definitely take a look at those spells for sure.
Definitely. When you push to higher keys, you need to know your class a lot better, and when you're able to do things, because like we've talked about, especially when I think it was an episode or 2 ago, we harped on dungeon etiquette. As a Ret Pally, my goal, is to put damage down range, but I'm not just doing damage. If I see Jordan struggling when he's my healer, I'll take my 3 holy power and turn that into healing instead of turning it into damage to support my healer. If he's communicating to me that he's going to be able to only get 1 incorporeal, that means I'm picking up the second because I know I can.
Yeah, organized dungeons are crazy.
Yeah, no, but it's great though. That level of communication, that play style is fantastic, and that's what we try to talk about all the time.
We have one more affix to go over though, don't we, Nick? What is it? What is the gross affix?
Yes, our last one is Spiteful. Fiends rise from the corpses of non-boss enemies and pursue random players. So speaking of CC, Spiteful Week, this is for the crunchers out there. A key to remember is mobility and kiting. Your Frost Novas, your Shattering Throws, your Ring of Pieces. I've seen a lot of people get very creative and spiteful, which we'll cover in the esports coming up, which is going to be next. Heard it's in the game.
Spiteful is one where you will want to be able to slow and put any distance, Ring of Pieces, things like that. You want to keep them from hitting your allies because they do disappear eventually, and you want to kite them as long as you can. But for some esports, there was the great push that happened. It actually concluded.
What did they push? Where?
I'll show you where they pushed. Shit. Cut that, Jordan. God damn it.
No, keep that in. For the humanity.
So it was the great push of keys. I am taking a look at the rankings right now, and Missed Count and Echo tied points.
Yeah.
But Echo took 2 minutes and 36 seconds longer to get the same amount of points.
How long do you think Echo's going to cry about second place?
They're not criers. Let's just talk about what keys that both Missed Count and Echo completed during this time. Missed Count completed a 21 Ruby Life Pools, a 21 Hall of the Infinites, a 21 Azure Vaults, a 21 Brackenhide, a 21 Algathar Academy, and a 22 Noku Defensive. And so Echoes, same as follows, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 22. Echo just took 2.5 minutes longer to do it.
Yeah.
It was incredibly competitive. These people are absolutely insane. And sorry for Jiff and Ducks Can Fly, but they weren't very competitive. A couple of them gave up along the way on day 3.
And you can see, too, that 2.5 is across the board, but it's mainly in that Ruby Life Pools, it looks like.
And there were some pulls that Echo did better, like look at Nakud. You know, they saved 20 seconds on Nakud.
Yeah.
It was anybody's game. It was a very, very good push. I'm excited for the next MDI for sure. Echo will continue to be as competitive as they are. I don't know how they do it being a big, organization like they are, but they keep being competitive, and so that's what I like about them. Like Liquid is kind of struggling on the other side, so it's good to see Echo coming up to Slam. So that's the topics we wanted to cover, I believe. So we get to move to our controversial, our interesting, our a lot less organized Tavern Talk section, right?
Yeah, I just need to pull up my Excel file. Hold on.
So we finished up what we wanted to talk about. It is time for the Tavern Talk section.
Yeah.
And so, Nick, I was wondering if you take a drink to one of my homies. One of the boys that had saved the Black Dragon flight. Me, the Evoker. Would you take a drink to our boy Abyssian, the new leader of the Black Dragon flight?
Yeah, even if he is the smallest dragon.
What? Dude, bottoms up. All right, and so our Tavern Talk has begun.
Woo!
So, Nick, you're getting into some nitty-gritty right away, some stuff that affects Classic players and Cataclysm Classic players.
So I got highly annoyed when this happened, and not just because I play Classic and Hardcore, but it's more of the understanding of the title. Blizzard lied. And they did, at this point. And that's because they had merged the Season of Discovery and the Classic service together, which is fine. I'd understand why you're doing that from a business sense. You need to save money, so you put them together. But to turn around and say that the Season of Discovery stuff is now blue text and features, that's where I have a problem. There's no quality control and check on something not bleeding over.
We just find things in retail where they combine servers. And I am Pinkie Pie Mal'Ganis, right? While somebody else is whatever Ice Crowned. And we're, to balance the Horde Alliance balance. It boggles my mind that they weren't able to container this properly to make sure that all of the Season Discovery players were on one server. And
well, it's not that the players aren't on one server or another. It's the fact that they allowed things from Season of Discovery to fall into Classic servers that were supposed to just stay vanilla and not have a lot of these things from Season of Discovery that are now blue text and they're calling features. That's the problem. Because even in 2019,
okay, I called them features.
August of 2019, in their FAQ about WoW Classic before these servers launched, people asked, what is WoW Classic? And their answer was, WoW Classic is a faithful recreation of the original WoW experience as it was in 2006. Everything about the game, from the combat mechanics and talent trees to character models and zone layouts, has been restored to realize a truly authentic experience verbatim from Blizzard. And
which isn't true.
Right, now it's not true. It used to be true. We can go through the content phase releases that they had provided and everything. And they even changed the UI for the guild, which is, I can understand changing UI. I really don't care about the UI. They
just got to be honest. This is a revamped version of Classic. If you really wanted to play straight up vanilla, that's not what WoW Classic is. I'll be honest with you.
No, that's what it
doesn't have the bugs.
That's what it was.
What it was. Yeah.
Ever since this blue text came out, that's now the problem because it's no longer what they had said it was. That's where my problem is. It's this fact of these companies.
They've done shadow fixes though. fixing very disgusting problems in the game.
Right.
They've
Like,
done
look,
that.
look, doing a quality of life thing is different than saying we're not going to do XYZ and then having a bleed over to save money and just calling it features. That's the problem. It's the fact of blatant not bothering to care about the consumers that are playing it. Because if we want to get to the number of people, there's actually been a decrease in 1 month alone from Season of Discovery and an increase in Classic.
I do agree that this is a disgrace on especially the WoW Classic purists. This is really a shit on their chest. I do think there was a better way to do this. They really should have treated... Like, if you go into Change Realm on your character and you see how many servers there are, like, it's an absolute joke.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason they needed to have containering like that. Like, it's absolutely despicable. So
Well,
no wonder they're getting rid of the character transfer and server transfer stuff in cross-realm because
Right.
they have to. It's so
Right.
archaic.
So let's look at it this way. Season of Discovery has 14 total servers. Hardcore has 4. Classic Era has 79.
Okay.
Classic Era makes up 81.44% of the 97 servers. And when it comes to population percentage, though, Classic Era makes up 27%.
Yeah,
of
you
the
bring
total
up an interesting
population.
point.
But
And-
seasonal
and-
makes up 71%. But we've also seen in 1 month alone, and granted, so these numbers are from WoW, Warcraft Taverns WoW Classic Server Population Tool, and what it's pulling is this base data from July 11th at 8 in the morning that goes into June 11th. So it's a full 30-day pull of data.
Okay.
And we've seen a 50,000 drop in Season of Discovery, and we've seen a 12,000 pop increase in Classic Era.
I mean, that makes sense. They just released Season of Discovery Phase 4, right? Do those Season of Discoveries count or just straight up Classic?
No, so it's the data's pulled, so that way it's broken down and it goes, so you have game type, then realm, then type of realm, then region, and then I have it broken out to Alliance population start of month and Horde population start of month and end of month for each. So then there's also a total for start of month and end of month and a change. So when I talk seasonal or Season of Discovery, that is just the population from those servers, regardless of it being a PvE, PvPRP, or PvP or PvE server, and even if it's US or EU. Same thing with Hardcore and Classic. So when I'm saying it's Classic, it's a legit Classic Era only server, and that's even including the umpteen that have nobody on them, 57 servers of Classic.
It's interesting. What do you think motivates them to make this change? Is it to make the server structure cheaper?
Honestly like probably a money saving tool, because if they did have them in separate server racks, I mean, you're propping up, like I said, there's 57 servers of nobody on Classic. Was there multi-millions of people on it at some point? Probably. There's not that many now. I think this end of month of Classic's total was 22,000 people.
Yeah, let me take my last hot take.
Yeah.
On this topic. This is WoW moving all of these things from dedicated servers to Azure because they're bought by Microsoft.
Which, yeah, if that's how they're doing it, that makes sense. But speaking from somebody who works with Azure for a living, there are ways to gate.
So it's just lazy.
I think it's coming down to a bit of laziness or poor quality control and quality management of their servers. And it irks me that they just made this blue text instead of going, like, I would have more love for Blizzard if they just went, hey, we were doing this, we realized this is happening, please give us time while we fix it. That makes total sense. Because look what happened with the affixes when everybody started bitching about them. And then you turn around and you just shit on 22,000 people's playing experience. Right. Like, turn that into $15 a month. If those people are only playing for Classic Era, that's what? Let's see. I have Excel open. $341,000 a month gone. So put that in a year. That's about 4.1 million. If everybody if all 22,762
Right, they deserve a damn video game.
Yeah, like they deserve. And I'm not saying the Season of Discovery people don't, because they're over double the amount of even with a $50,000 population drop. There are still 59,000 Season of Discovery players. You know, it's more than double Classic era alone, and it's 59 times more than Hardcore, because Hardcore's 1,300 people.
Right, Blizzard knows these things.
Right, they know exactly. They know these things, so I don't understand why you're shitting on $4.1 million. Or did they take the risk on this and they went, well, 90% of these people or whatever percentage of them also have retail, because they can see that too. Well, they're not going to cancel it because they've been playing retail for so long.
What? Are you calling me out?
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not calling you out. I'm saying that that's a way to hedge their bet, that they don't have to care.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to do. I do think.
Speaking from personally, like, I love Classic and I like Hardcore a lot. I enjoy it. I mean, I play it a ton, but I have it as my spare World of Warcraft time. But I'm not going to cancel because they're fuck up. I'm that person that's going to keep playing because I love retail. Because I've put 15 years into my retail characters. I'm not going to cancel over their fuck up. But I think that they need to go back to the drawing board and really learn how to not do this ever again and fix this. That's my personal opinion from myself.
They definitely need to find a balance.
It's not finding a balance. They need to just own up to their fuck up, and they need to own up to it. You screwed up, fix it. You're going to get more love.
No, I know, and in retail, the retail team's been really good about that, too, especially with the affix constructs and things like that.
Exactly my point. Exactly what they did with the affixes. You're going to get more love out of your player base by owning up to your mistake and fixing it than you are just trying to shove it down their throat.
Look at how forward-thinking retail team is. Like, they let you get a taste of these things already.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and even then, like, we've talked about how they have a, the 3 expansions and a chart or whatnot. I'm trying to think about it. The roadmap.
Yep.
Like, we have that roadmap. Granted, you don't need it for Classic, Seasonal, or Hardcore. I mean, Seasonal you do, but, like, Classic and Hardcore you don't. But that's also supposed to have been left alone since, 2006 style. So, yeah, that's my hot take for this one.
Right.
It's something I am slightly passionate about, and it's not just the fact that I play Classic. It's really the fact that I am personally tired of companies selling people half-ass games completed and then expecting us to go download 40 gigs of bullshit, or not letting us purchase the full game. Granted, I understand WoW is an MMO and we'll never own the full game. Understandable at that. But it's a lot of BS that's just pent up, and I'm like, this is one of those like final straw moments for me.
How do I want to word this? Because this is shareholders. Shareholders are like, well, retail gets fucking 5 million people playing it a day. Look at how many new people are playing retail.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it was a business move, and they don't have to care. That's why the hedging the bets comment was made too, which that also saddens me. I think that, and granted, I've never developed a game. I don't know what conversations went on. I don't know anything for all intents and purposes.
We don't work at Blizzard.
Yeah, I don't work at Blizzard. I'm not a fly on the wall. I just know that it sounds like they merged servers and they're just blue texting this, and it's frustrating. If something else happens, or even like if one of the 20-some people that listen to our podcast is a Blizzard employee or has more information, cool, I'd love to hear it. Honest to God. But right now, it's just kind of just piss poor management, in my opinion, and it's annoying. You should really play Classic and Hardcore, even though that's where you started. You hate it.
We'll see. Anyway, so we're going to move into some War Within talk and our Tavern talk. I wanted to talk about the Hive Mind Mount and Warbands interaction. This is one that's incredibly complicated. Historically, on the character that you complete we won't get into the prerequisites for the mount, but in order to get the mount, you have to complete the prerequisites with the people also, and then they are the only people that can join your Hive Mind Mount. How do you feel that they should add this to Warbands? Do you think you should have all of your characters that will be able to do the hive mind with all of their characters that can do it, or should it stay true to the character?
That's a good one.
Is this an example of... Is this an example of something we should touch, something we should limit to just the character that went and done it, or should this be warbanded? Nick, what do you feel? How do you feel about it?
So I think coming from like an IT perspective, the easiest way to deal with it is going to be just give it to everybody, like it, because they've talked about how we're going to have all of our achievements and stuff like that are now going to be account bound, really, and not just character bound.
Right, and so let me take your purist perspective normally.
Let me get all the way there. My understanding is going to be we're going to basically have a merging of all these people, like in the warband. Every character is going to have their achievement list. They smash them together, drop duplicates, like ba-bang, there you go, done deal. That's my understanding. I don't know if they're going to keep, like, because even now, 90% of them are account bound pretty much on achievements. And the only things that aren't are like hitting levels, doing quests, picking up X amount of gold from, mobs, stuff like that, which I don't know if they're still going to have. From my understanding, I haven't seen anything on it, are account bound, or if they're still going to have them, or are character bound kind of ones. But so that's the way it's looking IT wise from me. I would expect them to do everything in the warband.
Right. So that takes away from the original group. Let's say I did this with a super cool group of friends, like people we've had in our guild before, and only those people can join my hive mind mount. Only those people that have done the puzzles, done the bullshit to fucking unlock the damn hive mind mount.
Right.
My hive mind mount now is way less cool when they all join it, because you can do it on any character if you have it, whatever.
Well, but it would still be, you'd still have it locked to those people that helped you with it in the first place. It would just be all of their characters in the warband is what I would assume. Not
right,
like,
make it account bound.
Huh?
Make it account bound.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like what is the Orgrimmar blimp I have from BlizzCon years back? Like that, just because that's the one 2-person mount I know off the top of my head. It's not like if you are in a party where you can hop on that one, or when you're on your dragon mount from Dragonflight, I can go be a wormling or whatnot, or a whelpling. It's not like that. I'm talking more of, you helped me on it on one specific character, but even though you're on another one, when I have that character open, all of your characters can get on my hive mind mount.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess it could be cool.
Yeah. They could do some interesting things.
So talking about the War Within and warbands, I wanted to talk a little bit about my War Within plans. Nick, I imagine you're doing some Paladin. You're probably doing all of the Paladins, I imagine,
what?
through the War Within.
No, I don't play Paladin at all. I think.
What do you think is your first focus? Who you leveling first? Which one are you leveling first?
The Rat Pally.
Well, yeah, the good murder.
Yes, my main squeeze, the mainest of squeezes.
Yes, I am thinking about doing a mage first.
Yeah, are you gonna do your panda mage?
Well, of course.
Get that big dumpy.
When she backs up, it go beep beep. And I have seen a lot of what the mages can do in beta, and I am excited. I am excited for Arcane to get some light. I struggle with like Mythic Plus keys on my mage now. On Arcane specifically, on Fire and Frost, it's a better experience. But when I want to be stubborn and play Arcane, I do see a lot more potential coming up. There is Spellslinger, there is AoE. You get to share some of these among the other specs. That's why I'm really interested to see War Within. I'm just really excited. I'm going to play a mage. It's going to be my main next expansion. I'm going to be a mage. Deal with it. Dad,
get it, son.
No tanking, no healing. Deal with it.
Nothing but deeps for the life.
Well, hopefully. Not nothing but deeps. You know me. I play 3 things. That's how I go. But my main It's probably going to be Mage Boo, the great pink Suki.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting for you because you did Evoker. This one, I think, last one was Warrior.
Yeah,
I mean,
historically I've done
mainly
Warrior.
for,
This expansion, well, I did Warrior and Evoker most of the seasons this expansion, and then I ended up doing only Evoker this time around, for Season 4, so definitely lots of excitement within War Within. I do guarantee you my second played class will be Evoker. It is reported to be kind of bad, and I kind of expected them to get what I'll call the monk treatment. If you guys remember what happened to Monk after Pandaria, it's now it's our time. You know, this is the Evokers after Dragonflight. This is our dark time. It's coming.
Yeah, well, I would say if they gave you 10 more feet of range, that'd be pretty nice.
Well, I think there's a couple of things they could do, but like make sure why don't you just do all damage increase by 100% and then all healing increase by 150%. Boom, balanced, honestly. No problems there. Easy. Fixed. Right, Blizzard?
Yeah, right.
Welcome to the Tavern Talk. I do think Evoker could use a little bit more throughput, but
yeah.
We've had good throughput last season, so
I feel like this Tavern Talk is take Blizzard devs out back and beat them.
No, it's fine. It's great. It's great. As that brings us into our next topic, the Mythic Plus pre-made pools.
Yeah, what do you got?
I have noticed that I mentioned earlier that there's a bit of a decline in the amount of knowledge of dungeons while you enter them. I find myself getting into a 5-6 now rather than a 5-6 a couple weeks ago, and nobody understands the stack, or like you almost have to break down every boss, or people aren't interrupting trash, and it's like, man, this 6 is really hard. Really, really hard. I wonder about some of it, because there is a good balance to this. We have an unexperienced DPS that comes in and takes a look at the mechanics, sees it for the first time, sees what we do, messes it up once, whatever, dies, whatever. We carry him, doesn't matter. The problem is we find a lot of these DPS that we just need a guy to fill the slot, and the group leader is nice enough to bring you in. And you die to everything. And at the moment we burn a key with you, whatever it is, even if it's sometimes we run with 4. We've gotten through timers on 4 of us. But a lot of the time, we bring a guy in on this key, and he just says, oh, shit, we wiped one. See you later. It's like it was on the second boss,
yeah,
dude.
that shit is so annoying.
We have 26 minutes left. Like, what do you mean?
I hate that. That's when
does no damage, leaves. Sorry, not calling anybody out in specific, but crazy.
It's so stupid. I will always stick in a dungeon, especially a Mythic, whether it's my key or not, until people are leaving. Like, I'm giving you my time for that key because I also want to complete it.
I signed up for it, right?
Yeah, I want the IO score. Like, I want the potential. I want the vault to get better. I want everything I get out of doing the Mythic. So I'm gonna give you my time as long as we're effective. Even if we gotta be on the struggle bus, then we're on the struggle bus for this. Like, we're gonna finish this fucking key, timed or not.
And people aren't like that, man.
Right.
No, I've been a bit discouraged. It's been a tough week for sure.
I know.
Doing Mythic Plus pools. I did achieve 2,000 Raider score on my healer, so KSM. But struggles to get there were interesting. So we are going to talk about some socials. Nick did a ton of work on our Discord community server. He ran some things by me, and I was like, yeah, sure, run it. I guess it's okay. And then he built our whole server together, our whole damn community server. Thank you, Nick, by the way.
You're welcome,
it looks
buddy.
Amazing.
Like
Definitely, if you guys are interested, take a look and join.
Like I said, though, man, just because I did work on one thing, it's a we. It's always a we. We're a team.
I appreciate what you do.
I appreciate what you do, too.
So, speaking of what I'm interested in talking about is the Twitch streaming
this is where
coming
your work's
up.
going in.
I'm excited. I do have a bit of a build. Nick and I have a thing where we can stream both our streams and switch back on who's the main, who's the off. We have some good ideas going here, so get ready for our Twitch stream. Links in the description.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, we already did a test one, too. We got to do a little more polish on the profile and make it look super nice and professional, and we'll probably be doing that.
We got to make people stay when they find us, yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably be doing raid nights and whatever we want to stream, we'll stream it pretty much.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely some links in the description. I do plan to go live definitely a bunch, so we will have some specific links in the description, and we will start shouting it out. So Nick, will you give us the beautiful, you're with your handsome voice, will you send us away?
That's always fun, dude. I love doing this with you. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning into another exciting episode of the Valley of Spirits. We're your hosts, Jordan and Nick, your go-to Horde players. Join us in Valdrakken on the Mal'Ganis server and look up our guild, the Electric Boogaloo, for some epic adventures. Stay connected with us on our social media. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or X as it's known these days, by searching the Valley of Spirits podcast. Don't miss out on our latest updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more. Until next time, may your quest be glorious and your loot be plentiful. And as always,
for the Horde!